from Logic Rex. Hey, Larry, I was just curious as to what you think about LP Mises. The LP itself and the players are new to me, but the philosophy is ingrained. Always been libertarian, just didn't see it. Loyal to the philosophy, not the party.
Wow, that is a deep question. I will try to do my best to not bore you to death. For those of you who don't know, the Mises Caucus basically took over the party this year in May. And a lot of people are unhappy because they are much more of an aggressive type of part or wing of the Libertarian Party, much more forward, much more aggressive, much more about trying to get people who are already libertarians on board versus converting people who aren't. That's much more their style they're trying to achieve. The messaging is much more hardcore, much more principled, much more aggressive in many ways. Some of them are young bros who actually say and do dumb things also on top of it. So people are upset. I think it's just a normal move for the party, and people get mad at me when I don't, tell them, say the world's ending. I guess maybe I'm too old for this shit. I just know that in a couple years it's going to go back to whatever it is. But the most important piece is we have been failing for 50 years. This party and movement has been failing for 50 years. What we've been doing has not been working. If this will work, good. People say, but Larry, they're mean and they alienate people. Well, if it gets us to win, we'll find out. I'm okay. If it gets us to move the country forward and save the nation, we'll figure it out. If not, what we were doing didn't work. And people say, but they took over the party. We need to go the old way. The old way is the reason why the party got taken over. A party that would have had a good, solid, strong infrastructure and philosophy and group of people can't be taken over. Ours got taken over. And the guy who took it over, the guy who runs Mises Caucus, I'd be very forward. He wasn't sneaky. And I know him. He knows me. If he's watching or stands, he literally telegraphed everything. He called it a Mises Caucus takeover 2 years ago. If I tell you how I'm going to come at you, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, and you can't stop me, shame on you. So that is my view. Shame on you.
You have to basically be a miracle worker to fix this stuff. So
yes,
yeah.
Good luck.
We need more I got Jesus here. I'm good.
Yeah,
gotta at least try. You need some faith.
You do have to try. You really, because they want you to lose hope. Because people who have no hope are easier to control.
And I'm like, no, fuck that. No.
Well, I am trying to be the change that I want. I'm trying to be Gandhi-esque, and I just keep going. If you've seen me, Chrissy. I've been doing this for years. I just don't stop. I keep going, no matter what happens. The changes that happen, the pain that happens, the losses that I take. I keep getting back up, and I keep going. And I'm hoping that others will follow me and keep going, because the other alternative is just quitting, and I don't want to quit.
Yeah.
And if this country collapses, I at least want to be able to say I did my best to do what I could do. Right, at least, or hopefully as I said, I don't think I'm the guy who's going to save the world. I don't. But do I think I'm the guy who can set it up to be saved? I do. I think I can be the guy who can set the groundwork so that it can be saved. We can set up a system to where we can get a third party, to where someone can come in with the right movement, the right ideas, the right charisma to move the right people and make something happen. I think I can be the guy who years from now they go, man, I'm so glad Larry Sharpe got his ass kicked for 5 years. I hope someone says that several years from now.
That's why I tell people all the time, I'm like, just because you think it doesn't matter, it does. You can run for local things. Like, you can do it. There's so many different things. Like, a lot of people just feel like they're not going to make a difference, but that's not true. Like, as corny as that sounds, it's true. It's not true. You can. There's so many things that you can do. Like, anything. Yeah.
I know
it's better than nothing, than doing nothing. So
yeah.
I mean,
Anna, you're going to run for something?
No. Just release Epstein's list, and it would make a huge difference right now, because half the people would be kicked out.
Yeah. Yep. Give us the list.
But I feel like if you were going to do something more local, that's going to have so much more impact in a lot of ways. Especially if you're like starting to get into something.
The Epstein list people in your local area. Start local.
Hashtag release the Epstein list.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just locally. Who do I know when I was over there? From Torgo the White, speaking of the Mises Caucus, Chrissy, you should try to get on Michael Heiss, head of the caucus, and the tip of the spear for an interview. Ooh, there's so many sexual jokes I could make right now. Tips.
There's
caucuses.
too many.
Thank you, Torgo.
He's the guy I was talking about who took over.
Oh.
Yes. He literally projected it 2 years ago. And what are you gonna do?
What do you do? Just let him win. Jimmy G, can the LP win over nationalists and identitarians?
Wow, Jimmy.
I would say the same thing that Gandhi said when I'm going to do my Gandhi thing today. When Gandhi was interviewed during World War II, the interviewer said, "Look, Gandhi, you can't use your tactics against a monster like Hitler." He said, "Not without defeats. Don't you have defeats when you fight Hitler?" And she was like, "Well, yeah, me too." Well, here's my answer, Jimmy. Not without defeats. We will have losses and people will see it. And if we are strong in our losses and our defeats with awesome striped sneakers, if we were to do that, I think, yes, we can. It's persistence is key, right? Every single story of success is the same story. Guy or gal tried her best. She fell down and failed. She got back up and she won. That's like the story, right? That's everybody's story. So yeah, I think that's the answer. We can with defeats if we keep getting back up.
Why are Larry so based? Larry Elder and now Larry Sharpe.
True. It's true. It's true.
It's a good name.
Because Larry is, by the way, the coolest name ever. Just saying. So we are two things. We are subway flashers and heavy hitters. Those are the two things we are. So some of us are both.
Larry, this is from James Shart. Shart. That sounds like Shart. Larry, you seem okay. Many libertarian candidates are cringe. In the Arizona debate, the rep talked economy, the Dem talked abortion, and libertarian talked about age of consent. A of C is not a voter concern. Oh, yeah, that is.
You're not wrong, James. Bad. I wish you were. And as I said, I'm trying. This is the thing to remember. This is kind of interesting. I am the only libertarian candidate who's ever been on any of the cool podcasts. Right? Right? Every libertarian who's been on like Joe Rogan, Glenn Beck, Dave Rubin, they're not candidates.
SimpCast.
I'm the only candidate who's done those things. I'm the only libertarian candidate who's been in mainstream debates with Republicans and Democrats across New York State. I'm the only one who's tested. I'm trying to get others to follow me. You are correct. Nice burp, by the way. I'm the one who's trying to get people to follow me.
Trying to clip that for his commercial. Now he can't.
I am. No, now it's a better commercial.
So now it's better. Yeah.
Now it's better
real.
Commercial.
Yeah.
So no, I think you're right, James, and I think you are right. And many of them are cringe. The problem is the Libertarian Party was built out of activists as an activist party. So we have so many activists in our party. In any movement, you need activists, you need candidates, you need donors, you need volunteers, you need lots of different people. We are heavy on activists and not so heavy on candidates. So many of our candidates are just activists, and activists, their job is to get people to pay attention. And what age of consent does is get people to pay attention. It doesn't get you to vote for them, but it gets you to pay attention.
I had no idea that Epstein was a libertarian.
Don't say that. I used to like you, Chrissy. Don't say that. Don't say that.
JK. That's
no, he was
joke.
A Democrat. Please, Democrat. He was. Democrat.
Huge Democrat. We would never claim him.
I'm surprised by that.
Only because it's an age of consent joke. All right, moving on.